Good evening, I'm Norman Robinson, and welcome to Affordable Housing Matters. Tonight we will meet with a representative from the mayor's office to discuss Mayor Landrieu's new plan for providing affordable housing in the New Orleans area. We will also find out what the Jefferson Parish Community Development Department is doing to help provide grants for those who qualify. Knowledge you can use when we return. The housing affordability crisis in New Orleans has grown by 50% since 2000. This has caused many New Orleanians to pay more than 50% of their income just on housing cost alone. To help solve this problem, the mayor's office has come up with a 5-year strategy known as Housing for a Resilient New Orleans. Here to tell us about this strategy is Ms. Ellen Lee, Director of Housing Policy and Community Development in New Orleans. Thank you for being here.
And thank you for having me.
I always ask the guests on this show, what brings them to affordable housing? What attracts you to that particular
Well, you know, I'm a native New Orleanian. I grew up in a neighborhood that we are trying to recreate now. We had renters and homeowners. We lived close to 5 different bus routes. We're within, 2 or 3 blocks of walking distance. We had the small, the corner grocery store and the neighborhood dry cleaner right around the corner. And so these are the kinds of neighborhoods that we're trying to bring back in New Orleans. And so what attracts me to it is the opportunity to bring back and help promote and support those kinds of neighborhoods that really support families and their lifestyles. So
infrastructurally and policy-wise, how do you support development for affordable rental and home ownership?
Now, there are a couple of ways that we do that. As you mentioned, housing affordability has gotten really out of hand in the last several years, particularly where over 58% of our renters are paying more than 30% of their incomes on housing, and even for homeowners, where we think homeownership is the path to wealth creation and asset building, we have even about 27% of our homeowners who are paying more than 30% of their incomes on housing. And so what we're trying to do, because this particularly impacts our service workers, our artists and culture bearers in New Orleans, the people who really run this town and make it the beautiful, wonderful city that it is, we're leveraging a couple of our resources to help preserve and create more affordability. Leveraging those resources means that we're taking our financial resources, and so the funding that the city receives every year from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, specifically to subsidize the development of affordable housing, we're putting that into great projects that help create affordable housing. One example of that is we supported the Andrew J. Bell Junior High School is being redeveloped into 79 apartments for artists and culture bearers. So we use some of our resources to help to support that particular development. We are also using our public land that is available to us. And so we work in close partnership with our Housing Authority of New Orleans, which owns land throughout the city, working with our New Orleans Redevelopment Authority, who took possession of the properties where families sold their homes to the state after Katrina. Because the public sector owns that property, we can sell it or provide it at a discount, which means that the cost of developing, those properties into homes and apartments is reduced. So those are some ways that we're using our resources.
Approximately how many people are projected to benefit from this type of effort?
We are projecting to either create or preserve 7,500 affordable housing opportunities. Now, that is developing new housing, as well as when we say preserving, we mean, for example, that there are many families living in the city who can't afford to make needed repairs to their homes, the repairs that would be necessary to keep them healthy and keep them safe, for our seniors to allow them to maintain their independence in their homes. So we're preserving the affordability, helping them to stay in their homes, and helping them really to stabilize their neighborhoods. One of my best neighbors was my little old lady, who was the eyes and ears of the neighborhood.
Oh, they're very important.
So helping to keep those neighbors in their homes not only helps them retain their independence, but also helps to keep our neighborhoods more stable.
I get asked this question all the time about the subject that you just broached. How does one go about gaining access to such a program?
We work through nonprofit organizations and some for-profit affordable housing developers. And so we have a competitive process annually where we make available those resources that I spoke about. And we have nonprofit and affordable housing developers who apply to our office, and those are rated and proposals are rated and scored, and we allocate funding to those organizations. And a list of those organizations is available on our website. Those organizations often have their own client base that they're working with, but those organizations also, anyone can call them and check on the availability of those of the resources.
When you talk about the shrinking opportunities for people to have rents that are affordable and home ownership that's affordable, a lot of people say, well, those people are on the margins of society. What is my interest in that as someone who is not having that particular problem? Am I a stakeholder?
Everyone is a stakeholder in this. We know studies have shown that when low-income families do well, that everyone actually does well. It's a benefit to society. Our plan is founded on a principle of equity and making sure that there's equal access to opportunity for everyone. We don't marginalize people. We value and embrace the big gumbo that
Right.
makes up our community.
Now, I read somewhere where the tax credits are shrinking. How does that impact this program, if at all?
Sure, we rely on that. That's a huge source of leverage for our resources. Not only are tax credits shrinking, but the funding from the federal government has been shrinking in the past several years. And so we really are called on even more to leverage our resources so that we can put in just a small amount or a smaller amount of the city's resources and cause that to open up, other funding streams. So it's going to be a challenge for us if those tax credits are decreasing. It really is a gap filler to help us to produce the number of units that we'll need to meet the need.
So then what can be done if that in fact does come to pass?
I think we need to advocate more at the federal level. There's a role for everyone to play in that. It's not just the Mayor Landrieu who needs to do that, but our state representatives, our congressional delegation, and all of the housing advocates and all of the people who care about housing for people in New Orleans need to continue to call Congress, call the White House to advocate for these tools that are going to be needed in the toolbox to help us address this challenge. We also know that there are some local opportunities. Our finance authority, our local housing finance agency, the Finance Authority of New Orleans, has tools in their toolbox where they can also issue and allocate tax credits. And so we need to unlock and begin to use better all of the tools that are available to us so that everybody will be all in helping to meet this problem.
So I envision a situation where you have all of these agencies working in a coalition collectively. So do you have a central clearing office where all of these agencies are kind of funneled together?
We have a little bit of that. We have two initiatives. I would say one that informally, if you will, the public agencies that are involved in development are working together. The city, our redevelopment authority, the housing authority, and then our finance authority. We work together to leverage each other's resources, stay on the same page so we don't have competing interests. So one example of that is we right now have an initiative working in the Iberville area, working on the redevelopment of the Iberville public housing. And the city and the redevelopment authority and the housing authority and the finance authority are all working together to provide either land or other kinds of financing support to build new apartments and home ownership opportunities within that geography. So that's one way we're doing that informally. There's another initiative called One Table, which is a collaboration of those 4 agencies as well as philanthropy. The Foundation for Louisiana is participating in that. Enterprise Community Partners, Capital One Bank has been interested in coming to that table, and our Crescent City Community Land Trust. So we've got other investors sitting down together where we are reviewing deals and seeing where different investors, almost like a Shark Tank, where a developer can bring a deal to the table and the different investors can see what they're able to provide resources and support. So those are ways that we're really working together to align and leverage and coordinate our efforts.
So this has to be a top-of-mind conversation when you're talking about development anywhere in the city of New Orleans.
Development anywhere, so whether it's affordable housing development, whether that's small business development, even on market rate development, we are working through our Office of Economic Development to see how we attract development to the city and what kind of incentives that we can provide that also might help us to include some affordable housing even in market rate developments.
All right, Ms. Ellen Lee, Director of Housing Policy and Community Development for the City of New Orleans, thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're quite welcome. Up next, Affordable Housing Matters. We shift over to Jefferson Parish and talk to the Director of Community Development for Jefferson Parish, Ms. Tamithia Shaw. Don't go far.
I needed help finding a doctor.
PACE.
I needed help with my medication.
PACE.
I needed help getting around.
The Shirley Landry Benson PACE Center is a place that helps seniors remain in their homes providing the care they need. If you or a family member are over 55 years old, you may be eligible for benefits offered by PACE. For more information, contact us at 504-835-0006. PACE, caring for those who cared for us.
The Jefferson Parish Community Development Department administers the entitlement grants received from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Here to tell us about these grants and how they are administered in Jefferson Parish is Ms. Tamithia Shaw, Director of Community Development for Jefferson Parish. Ms. Shaw, welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
What is your focus when it comes to affordable housing?
In Jefferson Parish, our focus is on seniors and homeowners. With seniors, we found that Jefferson Parish, unlike some other communities, is an aging community. So for that continuum of care for those elders, our administration has been in since January. We focus on our seniors. We found that seniors have all of their funding going to paying for somewhere to live. So this administration with the council has had a focus to do a senior living community where those seniors can stay and not have all of their funds taken for somewhere to live.
So when you talk about a senior living community, how would that work?
The senior living community, we've done an RFP to select a developer. That developer will have their own funds such as tax credits, bank financing, but along with our funding, it's going to guarantee that portions of that community would have apartments available for those seniors that have stabilized rents that have to be governed by HUD's regulations as to how much those rents are for the next 20 years. So we're looking that those seniors don't have to worry about their incomes when coming into this. They can know that they have something left over for medicine and all those other necessities that they need living in Jefferson Parish. This particular project is slated to start with 60 residents, and we will be paying for those residents, for the development so those residents can be there in transition and, like I said, not have that headache and worrying about that.
Now, Jefferson Parish is a large parish geographically.
Yes.
You got the East Bank and the West Bank.
Yes.
Now, where will this particular senior living center be located?
This particular one will be located on the West Bank. The West Bank is the largest population in Jefferson Parish, So we're looking to do something in the future on the East Bank, but we're going to start on the West Bank with this senior living community center, and it's going to offer from independent living for those seniors who don't need any assistance, and when they need to, they can switch over to the assisted living, so they won't have to leave the facility per se. It'll have everything there, so once they get in a facility, they don't have to worry about leaving.
What's on the drawing board for the entire senior population?
For the entire senior population, we're looking, like I said, for them to have that affordable rental.
Okay.
Affordable rental. Also, we offer programs to help those seniors who want to stay in their home but can't afford to do any of the repairs. Jefferson Parish has several programs that are geared toward our seniors and our disabled population. In that, we give grants to fix their home. We partner with the VOA. The VOA goes out and they do work paid through our funding to give handicap accessibility to those seniors living in their homes. Also to fix any of the code violations. We have seniors that have code violations. We have another partnership with NOEL, the New Orleans Education League. They come out and they fix those things so that senior doesn't have to worry about the code. So Jefferson Parish, if the code department identifies some violations, they contact us. We go out and we fix those violations so that senior doesn't have that headache, because they are concerned. They want to keep their property up. They just don't have the money to do so.
You know, I run into people all the time, especially seniors, and their question to me is, how do we access these programs?
Yes.
How do we qualify?
They can contact our office in Jefferson Parish, and they can we'll put them in contact with our housing counselors. Our housing counselors, because of HUD regulations, you have to have a certain income. We make sure they qualify through HUD, and when they do, we start and they don't have any expense thereafter. One of the main things we do with VOA is putting ramps in to homes because our seniors can't get out of their homes. So we put in elevator lifts because they just can't walk down any stairs where it's not feasible to put a ramp in. So we've done that throughout Jefferson Parish, and we're hoping to ramp that up. Matter of fact, the Parish Council on last week just approved some more funding for VOA to assist those seniors and the disabled that we have throughout the parish.
I had one senior ask me, my air conditioning unit just went out and I don't have the money to repair it or get another one. This was a window unit that they were talking about. Do they qualify?
They absolutely qualify. If they contact either our Department of Community Development, or they can contact their council person, who will contact us, or contact the parish president's office. They will make sure that we get the information, because a lot of that we do, especially during the winter time, we try to make sure we address all those issues, so when the summer comes, they don't have to be in that heat, because we are concerned about their health. So we do provide, even if they have a window unit, we provide AC for them throughout the home.
Now, is that an income eligibility requirement?
Some of them are income eligible, but we have other programs that are not. So they can just contact us, and we can work with them through either our department. If for some reason we can't find something, we all work with other agencies, and we make sure that they get what they need, because we don't want our seniors, like I said, that's a growing population in Jefferson Parish that we need to make sure we take care of.
Now, not to put you on the spot, but when it comes to income eligibility, what are we talking about in terms of income?
Most seniors get their Social Security, and they will qualify. They will qualify. The numbers are relatively low, but our seniors fall within those numbers and parameters, and I think HUD has done that working with Social Security Administration. They know. So we have a lot of our seniors who come in and qualify. Since I've been there in January, we haven't had any seniors that didn't qualify for the program.
That's good to know.
Yes.
What is the home investment program about?
The home investment program is grants we offer to first-time home buyers to buy in Jefferson Parish, remain a part of Jefferson Parish. That partnership requires that the home be in Jefferson Parish, and we're working with the Finance Authority with that. The home be in Jefferson Parish, that the purchase amount not exceed $181,000 for existing homes, $232,000 for new construction. That person comes in, we do an income calculator to see if they qualify for the program. Once they qualify, they can get up to $40,000 to buy down their mortgage. So that's been a great help and assistance to persons coming in who want to be homeowners in Jefferson Parish. Also, we're working with the Jefferson Parish Housing Authority. We have those individuals who are getting Section 8 vouchers, and that program is geared to making them homeowners. So we've had, since our administration has taken place, we've helped at least 5 Section 8, former Section 8 tenants now become homeowners. So it invests them in the parish. So that's what we're looking to continue to do, is work with those homeowners, like I said, to make sure that they buy in Jefferson Parish, that they're income eligible, that the purchase amount, and that they live in a home. Because with getting the funding, there's an affordability period. That affordability period said that this must be your principal residence for so many years. And we're just happy to have, just in the month between a month, we put 15 people in homes in Jefferson Parish in 1 month. So there's a need in Jefferson Parish, and people are excited. We're waiting for our funding from HUD, and we're hoping in the new year to start the program all over again.
What about people who need immediate shelter right now?
Okay, we have our homeless assistance program. We help those who are homeless, and we help those who are in imminent danger of becoming homeless. We're working with the Southeast Louisiana Legal Services, and they put in funding to help those people who are on verge of being evicted, but who need assistance. One of the justices of the peace reminded us, he said, we have a single parent that comes in whose car breaks down. She can't afford to pay the car to get the car repaired, but she needs to have to go to work, as opposed to, paying the rent. So our program has spent in the last 2 months working with Southeast. We spent $70,000 helping those who were facing homelessness. For those who are homeless, we have working with RHD. They reach out and we get them rapid rehousing. That rapid rehousing gets them into a safe and stable place to live, and then from there, we work with them to make sure that they can make it on their own from that point.
So then there's a program not only for people who are in existing housing, but people who need
housing. In Jefferson Parish, we do have a homeless problem also, but it's different than our maybe regional partners, because you don't see those people. Most of those people that contact us, they're living in their car with their families. They're living from different family members, but there's no stable home for those kids, and that's what we're trying to do, is address that concern.
Thank you, Ms. Tamithia Shaw, Director of Community Development for Jefferson Parish, for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right. We will be back with a final word on affordable housing matters right after the break.
The following is another school of excellence from the First NBC Bank Tuition Auction.
Jesuit, without question, gave me the fundamental nuts and bolts of how to learn, how to study, how to think.
Jesuit gave me, the tools to do that. I would never have excelled in medical school if I didn't get the experience that I had here at Jesuit.
It was the best education I could possibly get in the city. Extracurricular activities were second to none. Its reputation, its formation of youth, its history of Jesuit teachings that go back well over 400 years.
Well, we challenge the students every day to be better academically, but more importantly, we challenge them every day to be a better person. And what did you do today to be a better person?
I think every teacher here at Jesuit tries to be that, more than a teacher. It's not what we teach, but who we are. The teacher is always the hidden curriculum in any school.
When that man reaches his potential, he understands why he is made for God. He understands his vocation, and he has the will to be able to fulfill that vocation in his service to God, that ad maiorem Dei gloriam, for the greater glory of God.
The traits that we instill in Jesuit High School that are most important to us, open to growth, intellectual competence, religious maturity, love, commitment to doing justice. We feel like it's something that helps students just become a complete person.
Focus on academics first, and then get to your extracurricular things. You should be pretty balanced and be able to fit into Jesuit. They always have something for everybody.
When you surround yourself with excellent teachers, excellent curriculum, excellent students. There's nowhere to go but up.
When you bring the best out of good young men like they have here at Jesuit High School, you're going to see us perform at a high level, the highest levels. St. Ignatius always looked for people who had leadership potential, so that he knew if he could infuse those good church teachings, those graces that they would need to be good leaders, he knew that he had multiplied the effect of the education.
But at the end of the day, when we all graduate evenly and equally, we're all going to have an impact, and we've all had the same basis and foundation in our education.
While we can speak a lot about the discipline and the self-discipline that a person acquires here at Jesuit High School, that belief in yourself is really something I think that is nurtured by love and the sort of unconditional valuing of each individual here. And that's what I felt as a person at Jesuit High School.
We would like to thank our guests, Ms. Ellen Lee and Ms. Tamithia Shaw, for joining us this evening. Remember, for more information on our guests on this show and others, please visit WLAE.com and click on the Affordable Housing Matters link. There you can get in contact with every guest we've had on our program. Also, tell us what you want to see on Affordable Housing Matters by emailing us at ahm@WLAE.com. Thank you again for joining us this evening. I'm Norman Robinson. Have a good night.